welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So what I have for you guys today is going to be another episode of the Championship Transfer Rumour Roundup. And this week, guys, as always, we've got a whole lot of Championship rumours to go ahead and discuss today. So what I'm of course interested to know from you guys is, what do you make of all the recent transfer speculation currently going around the Championship? Make sure you do leave a comment in the comments down below, and if you've seen the transfer rumour which we've not discussed in this video, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. So as you know, we're fairly into January now, and this tends to be the part of the transfer window when things really start to heat up. You know, we get a bit of inflation going on in terms of the transfer prices, and a couple of teams may be starting to panic at this time as they've not done enough business like they would have wanted to at the start of the window. So if you guys do go on to enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like, as well as that, make sure you do subscribe for some regular Championship content. We are now so close to 8,000 subscribers, which is absolutely mental. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and hop into the video. So before we do actually go ahead and discuss any of the current transfer rumours, we will quickly touch on some of the recent completed transfers. We won't go over all of them, but we'll touch on a couple of them. Of course, we saw Cameron Jerome go ahead and complete his permanent move to Derby County, and Derby County's attacking options at the moment, they are pretty ridiculous before Jerome signed, and I think that Cameron Jerome manages to give Derby a different dimension, really. He's different to the strikers they currently have at the club in the likes of Sam Winnall, Vidra and David Nugent as well. We'll probably see Chris Martin move on in this window, but I think the signing of Cameron Jerome fits in with the whole balance that they've got at Derby. You know, it's a fairly experienced squad. You know, the spine of that Derby team really is, I wouldn't say it's really old, but it's quite experienced, I'd say. So Cameron Jerome fits into that ethos. We also saw Bristol City complete the loan signing of Ryan Kent. And Ryan Kent was a player I did keep my eye on last season, of course. Last season he was on loan out at Barnsley, and he's quite a funny player actually. I think has bundles of potential. His ability to go past the man with speed and power really is excellent for a young player. The only thing I think he really needs to work on is his final product. I'm sure Barnsley fans will say the same thing. You know, over the course of that loan spell with Barnsley, he did only pop up with 3 goals. You know, his performances were very consistent for them, but he does still need to work on his final product. I think a move to Bristol City is good for him. And then we of course saw Cardiff City go ahead and complete a couple of loan signings. The first of which being Yannick Wildschut, who did move from Norwich City. Fits into a Neil Warnock side, really. He's a very powerful, strengthy, pacey player who can play out on the wing. And I think that'll be an excellent addition, really. Cardiff, where they are in need of a bit of cover. You know, their squad has been hampered with injuries this season, so Wildschut would be a good addition. And as well as that, Cardiff also completed the loan signing of Marco Grujic from Liverpool, and he was a player who was in need of some first-team football. Throughout his time at Liverpool, he's of course only 21 years old. He's played a handful of matches for them, and when I've seen him, he's actually a very promising player indeed. And I think once again, he will fit into that Neil Warnock system, and he'll do well as they're struggling with injuries at the moment. So there were some of the recently completed transfers in the Championship, guys. But we do now need to move on into some transfer rumours, as we have got a lot to go ahead and talk about. So without further ado, guys, let's hop into some of them. So the first transfer rumour currently going around the Championship is that of Dwight Gayle. He's currently being linked with a move to Fulham, and interestingly enough, actually, Dwight Gayle was actually linked with a move to Fulham back in the summer transfer window. However, nothing really was able to materialise with this one, but with him not really finding a way into that Newcastle first team, you know, Newcastle on a whole have been fairly struggling so far this season, and it has been said that Benitez is after another striker in this transfer window. It's just a question of whether the funds will be available for Newcastle. But Dwight Gayle in the Championship last season managed to finish with 23 goals, so he can definitely do some damage. This season in the Premier League, however, he's only gone ahead and bagged 3 goals. So I think the way that Fulham play, you know, with Dwight Gayle having that pace going forward, he'd fit into their system straight away. He would be an excellent signing for them. The only thing with Fulham is, will they be able to afford him? And that's interesting actually, as one of their best players, probably their best player really, in Tom Cairney, is currently being linked with a move away from Fulham. He's been linked to Premier League West Bromwich Albion at this point in time. So the question I'd ask to Fulham fans is, would you be happy to sell Tom Cairney if it did did then mean that you were able to bring in Dwight Gayle into the starting 11. Let me know what you guys think of that down below, because of course Tom Cairney is a very highly rated player in the Championship. On his day, probably is one of the best players in the Championship, so I'm interested to hear some Fulham fans' opinions on this. And it wouldn't really be an episode of the Championship transfer rumour roundup if we didn't briefly touch on Wolves and some ridiculous transfer rumours which are currently going around. The first of which being Andre Gomes, who we've seen recently being linked to Wolves. If you don't know about Andre Gomes, he's currently playing for Barcelona. I was actually watching Barcelona the other day and he was in their starting 11, and somehow Wolves are being linked to him now. I honestly think that we're going to reach a point in the transfer window where any Portuguese players at all is just going to end up being linked to Wolves, you know. How long is it going to be until we see Cristiano Ronaldo being linked with Wolves, just for the fact that he is Portuguese? But this transfer, if it was to go through, which it's not looking very likely, it would then happen next season when Wolves are likely to be in the Premier League, so I'm not sure if there's much to that rumour. We've also been seeing Alex Telles being linked with a move to Wolves as well, currently the Porto left-back and currently one of the highest rated left-backs, attacking full-backs at least, plays in Europe at the moment. Last season for Porto, he had an exceptional season, managed to finish with the most assists as a fullback in, I think, Europe's top 5 leagues or something like that. So a really highly rated player. Currently Liverpool and Chelsea are also interested, and as he does have a connection with Nuno, currently Wolves are interested as well apparently. A deal which does look to be very close to go ahead and completing is that of Adam Forshaw. He looks to be on his way to Leeds United. I think that this is a move which does suit both parties really. At Middlesbrough, he's been a solid player for them, but not really been able to put his stamp on that team and be a week in, week out starter for them. In the Championship at Leeds United, of course, I think they're in need of another central midfielder. He'll do very well to fit into that team, and I think Leeds have a good balance in their midfield of both youth and experience, of course. Forshaw played in the Premier League before, just the sort of player Leeds need at the moment. I don't think the Jordan Hugill rumours are ever going to go away really, but he's currently being linked. For some reason, a really weird rumour came out at one point that Besiktas were interested in Jordan Hugill. To me, that did look to be a bit of a nothing rumour really. There was a bit of speculation about it, but I'm not sure where the actual rumour came from, but I can't see that one happening. But Preston are standing firm at the moment in the belief that Jordan Hugill will not be for sale in this transfer window, of course. We've seen a whole lot of Championship clubs interested. There has been some speculation as well that Stoke City are also interested in Jordan Hugill, of course, with Paul Lambert now being their manager. He, of course, was looking to sign Hugill when he was at Wolves for them, but could we see Hugill end up at Stoke? It's a possibility. Another striker in the Championship being linked with a move away is that of Chris Martin. Now this should come as no surprise really, as we have seen Derby recently complete the signing of Cameron Jerome. Chris Martin isn't really needed now at Derby. He's only been able to play a handful of games for them so far this season, and with Derby currently sat second in the Championship, he's just not really needed at the moment, and the teams said to be currently interested in his services are Reading, Birmingham, Sunderland and Leeds United. However, Derby have reportedly said that they won't sell to Leeds, as they are of course a promotion rival. So the most recent club to come into the chase is that of Sunderland, and after they of course lost Lewis Graben, I could see that one happening on loan. Derby County are being linked with a move to Thomas Kuszczak, of course, currently at Birmingham, currently their number 2. This move, it would come as a number 2, you know, there's no way that Kuszczak's going to go ahead and get ahead of Scott Carlson with how he's been playing this season, but as a number 2 it might not be a bad option for Derby. One transfer rumour which did actually caught my eye was that of Aaron Lennon. He's currently being linked with quite a few clubs actually, of course. We recently saw Everton go ahead and complete the signing of Theo Walcott, and that could mean that Aaron Lennon is no longer needed there. So currently the Championship clubs said to be interested are Leeds, Aston Villa, Middlesbrough and Cardiff, and he probably wouldn't even cost the most. You know, he is 30 years old, so you're probably not going to be looking at the biggest fee to be paid for Aaron Lennon. The only stumbling block probably would be his high wages, which I'm not sure too many Championship clubs will be willing to pay. Nottingham Forest have recently been linked with a move for Charlie Masonda, of course, currently at Chelsea. Wouldn't really come as too much of a surprise. There are, however, quite a few other interested teams. Apparently Celtic are also interested in Musonda, but if Forest were able to get this, that would be a fantastic deal. Cardiff are going ahead and still being linked with quite a few strikers at the moment, of course, as they do want to keep the momentum up at the top of the Championship. You know, this season could be make or break for Cardiff, so it's no surprise to see them go and maybe splash the cash on a big striker striker in this transfer window. The first of which being Lewis Graben, of course, recently playing for Sunderland on loan, where he did do quite well to score. He got into double figures for them in a fairly low-scoring Sunderland team. And we're also seeing Cardiff being linked to Gary Medine, and what a season Gary Medine has had at Bolton Wanderers so far this season. I believe he scored 9 goals for them so far, and I mean, Bolton just have to keep hold of him. Reportedly, Bolton have put a £6 million price tag on the head of Medine, and Bolton fans, do you think that's a fair evaluation? Because in my opinion, you know, Bolton, they have to keep hold of him. If they are going to have any hope of survival this season, Medine has to stay. But looking at it on the flip side, if I can't see Cardiff paying £6 million for him, but if they were able to get him at a cut price, it'd be a good deal for them. He'd fit into that system. I'd also love to know some Sunderland fans' opinions on what you make at the moment of Jack Rodwell. Now, Sunderland have said that they are willing to release Jack Rodwell if they can do so without paying up the rest of his contract. Reportedly, Jack Rodwell has rejected that, as at the moment, Jack Rodwell is on 70 grand a week at Sunderland. That is absolutely mind-blowing. I think he must have one of the worst win ratios as a footballer in the entire Football League. Since signing for Sunderland, he's just been a massive disappointment for them, and so it's no surprise as they are looking to go ahead and get rid of him. There was one report which came out at the moment that Preston, my club, were actually interested in, although I'm not sure there is too much to that rumour, as we are of course still seeing Preston being linked to Oxford United's Ryan Ledson, and reportedly Oxford are standing very firm with this one and saying that Ledson is not for sale. Now, this is a massive disappointment for me because he is a player who over the years I've really gone ahead and rated, and probably at the moment is one of the most promising young English centre mids. Preston did put in a bid of 500k for him. Oxford were really adamant that that won't be anywhere near enough. You know, if we're looking to get Ledson in this transfer window at least, we're probably at least looking over £1 million for him. And we're still seeing Leonardo Ulloa being linked to quite a few Championship clubs at this point in time. Of course, this season he's not really been anywhere near the Leicester City squad, and reportedly Aston Villa and Leeds United are both interested in Ulloa's services. And in the Championship, he has got a fantastic strike rate. He's got, on average, when he was playing for Brighton in the Championship, he scored a goal just over every 2 games he was playing. So as a Championship striker, he's just the sort of player which Aston Villa are in need of going into this second half of the season, really, I think. So there you guys have it. There were some of the recent transfer rumours which are currently going around the Championship. So have you guys seen any other transfer rumours currently going around? Let me know down below. As well as that, let me know down below, how successful do you think has your club's transfer window been so far? Are you happy with the business that your club has managed to get done so far, or are you a little bit worried now that your club has done nowhere near enough? But guys, that will now wrap it up for this video. So if you did go and to enjoy, make sure you do leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, make sure you do subscribe for some regular Championship content. But apart from that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.